Addiction comes in many forms and affects thousands of people across the United States. While there are many movements to prevent the use of drugs and alcohol and other forms of addiction, it's still happening in our society. And joining me now are Gary Mendel, the founder of Shatterproof.org, and Len Woolman, the chairman of the Waterford Group. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We are talking about the organization, Gary, because you say there's nothing like it.
Correct. I mean, this all started when my son Brian passed away related to drug and alcohol addiction back in October 2011. And when Brian was alive, I was always learning about how to help Brian. When he passed away, I started researching how to help others. And I found out that there's 25 million Americans in this country struggling with addiction every day. 25 million, which means there's another 100 million loved ones struggling with them, a third of America.
And you were saying it's hard to get them help.
Extremely hard to get them help. There is, unlike other diseases where there's help based on science and research and clinical trials, that is just beginning with addiction. It doesn't exist today. But worse, I found out that there is a base of knowledge that should be used, that's already been researched and proven through clinical trials, and sitting in clinical journals. It's not out in our communities. And that was the genesis of forming this organization to be for this field what American Cancer is for cancer, Susan Komen is for breast cancer, and the other organizations for their diseases.
And Len also teaming up with you with Shatterproof. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Len and I, we both own hotel companies, both in Connecticut, and we've been friendly competitors for almost 30 years and good friends. And we were looking for markets around the country to launch our organization with. If you've seen, we've all seen people walk, run, bike ride for cancer, heart disease, autism, MS, and we wanted to move into that experience for addiction for this organization. And we decided to do that our first year with something unique and different. Instead of starting with a typical walk, race, or bike ride.
This is not typical, is
Correct.
it? And it's a lot of fun for people. Len, let's talk about that. Rappelling off a building, off your building.
Correct. So the rappelling event is off the Hilton in Hartford on the 29th of July. We've got an exciting day planned. This is a dire cause that Gary's speaking about. So it's really about the cause, but we've got a lot of support from the community. There are more than 27 organizations that have already committed to this. We have 100 people committed to rappel. We had set a goal to have 2 ropes with 85 people. We filled that, and we now have 3 ropes, and we're looking to have at least 115 people rappel. We're going to have food out there. The restaurant at the Hilton, M&M's, is going to have food. The Marriott with Vivo is going to have food. And then we're going to have Elizabeth Arden from the Mystic Marriott doing massages for the rappellers as well that day.
So you can rappel and then get a massage. And it's fun, but it's also for a great cause, Gary. And how many people have you helped so far?
Well, we've just launched the organization about 8 months ago. Already we've passed a law down in Delaware working with an organization called Attack Addiction, which are volunteers that work with us. And we passed a law down there about a month ago, which will provide training and funding for first responders to carry a drug called naloxone, which will prevent people from dying once they've overdosed on an opiate. We just gave a grant alongside the Hilton Foundation to advocate for prevention and early intervention programs to prevent teens from becoming addicted, to be covered by health insurance in a number of states. And we're starting to add now new information to our website. So we just started less than a year ago, and we're already starting to make impact on saving people's lives.
Well, you both are making a great impact, and just thank you for that. And hopefully we can make it to that event. And that event, rappelling event, is Tuesday, July 29th at the Hilton Hartford. That's at 315 Trumbull Street, and that's from 9 to 5 p.m. Thanks so much for joining us.